Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NARSA weekly update for the week commencing Monday, the 22nd of November 2021. And this day has historical significance because exactly 58 years ago from this very day, Mr. John F. Kennedy was assassinated by someone who wasn't Lee Harvey Oswald, but we were somehow meant to believe that it was him. And the facts surrounding that are a wee bit of a stretch to believe, kind of like believing we have the same footballers in our team as the ones who went unbeaten last season and lost only 13 league goals out of 38 games. On the face of it, it is really somewhat unbelievable, but when you analyse it a little bit further, you can see that there's no possible way that this can be true. My word. It's Gary here, and as seems to be the case in this roller coaster season, we find ourselves back down in the depths of despair after another absolutely crazy week, which saw us finally get our man in Giovanni van Bronckhorst go through the emotions of an amazing memorial service for Walter Smith, then once again go through another absolutely horrible performance to see our dismal record in cup competitions continue, and Steven Gerrard's legacy is fully intact on that score. So let's start on the positives. After what felt like an eternity, but in reality was just a week, we finally got our chance and finally got our first choice manager in Giovanni van Bronckhorst. And if you watched his interview on Rangers TV last week, you can see, and today, and today's press conference as well, you can see that he's everything that you would want from a Rangers manager. He gets it, and he gets us. And despite the heady heights that he reached as a player and as a coach since he left us, he's always kept in touch and kept a special place in his heart for us, which is what we need. Someone who has Rangers coursing through their veins. I have been interested in both Ross Wilson and Gio's interviews in the past wee while, where they've went to great pains to explaining the actual recruitment process and, more importantly, the timing of the process to help educate us fans on how these things work, the diligence that has to go into it and the time that it takes. And we've also started to emphasise the point of him being only our 17th permanent manager in our near 150-year existence as well. So that's another significant factor in terms of our loyalty and tenure that we've enjoyed for those who we entrust with the most important job at the club. As a Rangers fan who has been watching avidly for well over 35 years, I don't actually recall in my lifetime a time when we were as united as we have been in support and favour for Gio to be the manager from the very outset, especially so quickly after Gerrard left us. I do remember back in the day, excitement when Dick Advocaat was announced to be taking over from Walter at the end of his first spell with the club, and also when Alex McLeish was nearing the end of his tenure and we announced Paul Le Guen as his successor. I remember the fans being pretty united in our excitement for him coming in due to his reputation and credibility that he'd already established in France and on the European stage. But that was a different situation to what we have faced in the past 2 weeks. I don't recall a time when we had a manager search under duress like we had, and us being very driven and in unison about our first choice, as I mentioned. Even the other names that were mentioned, the likes of Frank Lampard and John Terry, and I honestly have no idea who was actually interviewed during the process, they were the types and styles of guys that we know and can relate to. Guys with hard work, dedication, a desire to win, a very high profile, in the world football standings. So all in all, I reckon this was all a bit of a huge positive for the club and testament to the strides that we've made since Gerrard came in May 2018. And watching the official unveiling press conference today, I'm even more convinced that we've got this appointment right. He's cool, he's calm, he's honest, and he's direct. So welcome aboard, Gio, and as you'll have seen from yesterday's disaster of a performance and result, I'm actually not 100% sure that Steven Gerrard left us in as healthy a position as has been widely mooted by many. The team has struggled the whole season, and we've turned in some real shocking performances during the season thus far. And individually and collectively, there's just been a demonstrable, remarkable dip in form, or is it ability or attitude? I'm not 100% sure, to the point that it's not as cushy as it was made out to be. Yes, we're 4 points clear in the league. Yes, we are a game away from qualifying for the last 32. Yes, we did have a semi-final to look forward to with the promise of a final next month. But this was all kind of compounded by both the post-match interviews by Scotty Arfield and Connor Goldson yesterday, where they kind of said overall the feeling is that our standards are dropping individually and collectively as a team. Yeah, we know. So do something about it and actually get us the results and the performances that we need then, because we know you can do it. And for whatever reason, you're just deciding not to, or you just can't anymore. And last season was a 38-game fluke. I struggle to believe that one, and I hope it's not the case. So, on to the game segment for this week. Of course, our only game this past week, as you know, was yesterday's absolute shocker of a capitulation in the League Cup semi-final versus Hibs at Hampden, with a place in the final against the unwashed from the East End at stake. We started the game, as in the first 2 minutes, like an absolute whirlwind. They had 2 key defensive players yellow carded early on for fouls on the very dangerous Joe Aribo, and apart from Scotty Arfield's goal not long before half time, there was literally nothing else to shout about during the game at all. From thinking early on, and this is my thinking early on, that we were going to just blow them away and have an easy afternoon and a real happy welcome home party for Gio, to the abject and predictable performance we turned in, just about sums up this current group of players. It is a roller coaster. By my count, Hibs had 3 shots on goal and scored with all 3. I don't know that we had that many more genuine attempts on target than they had in the whole game, and despite us enjoying vast amounts of possession and pressure, we didn't really genuinely threaten to get back into it at all, especially in the second half when we're really looking for a superhuman effort to give us something to cheer about and something to shout about. The first goal came from, admittedly a great corner coming in that looked like it was slightly deflected onto our sleepy captain, James Tavernier, who basically just stood frozen and let it hit off him, or tried to chest it back to the goalie, or whatever he did. He basically put it into the path of the Hibs fella to poke it in for the first goal. The second, we gave up possession again, and from what I've seen, Tav then played the boy on. It's onside to go in and put in, admittedly, a good finish for 2-0. And, losing possession from our own throw-in was a bit of a theme for the day. Now, for the second goal, admittedly, I did lose my feed just before that, so I didn't get to see the full balance of play leading up to it. So maybe I missed another crucial error in the play, and I haven't seen it full back on the replay either. And the third goal is kind of similar for me. I lost my feed again, and when it comes back on again, it's a penalty. On the replay, it's just an absolute howler by Stephen Davis, a completely needless challenge that looked more lazy than anything else, maybe frustration creeping into his play. He's supposed to be better than that, and then the boy steps up to smash the ball right down the middle of the goal and make it 3-0. To this day, I still don't understand why goalies don't just stand rooted to the centre of the goal. And this is something that my dad Ronnie has been saying for years and years and years. They'd save a very high percentage of penalties, much more than they're probably saving right now, and would have all penalty takers starting to think a lot more closely about adding more variety into the penalties, and hence giving us a bit more of an opportunity to make some more saves. I'm fairly sure I'm not alone at that point in the game of thinking, well, that's that. And I actually put a comment to that effect on the NARSA Communications WhatsApp group. Then Scotty Arfield, as I mentioned earlier, steps up in a bit of a stramash in the box to produce a great finish to make it 3-1, with absolutely tons of time to come back into this game. So I'm thinking then, is it game on? Is this going to be one of these games that is going to be forever etched in our memory? Nope, as it turns out. We just huffed and puffed and really never got going to truly threaten the scoreline. Some set pieces, a really bad miss by Connor Goldson in the 89th minute that could have made the extra 5 minutes that were put on for extra time a bit more exciting. But other than that, some very weird substitutions that never really materially worked out to any great level. The positives from the game, Joe Aribo and Scott Arfield put in solid efforts, and Alan McGregor didn't really put a foot wrong the whole day, and certainly wasn't to blame for any of the goals. But I think I'm not alone in thinking that he hasn't made any wonder saves recently, and this is maybe an unfair bar that I'm measuring him against. But on another day, he would have saved the first one. On another day, he would have maybe got a hand on the second one as well. So maybe McGregor is just not as invincible as he proved to be last year. But I don't want to lay any blame on him. The goals were nothing to do with him. The negatives from the game, everyone else apart from McGregor, Arfield and Aribo. Our defence is a shambles. Our midfield aren't taking a grip of any of the games, and our forwards seem to just have forgotten how to create chances and shoot. And this is a team that's supposed to beat Sparta Prague by 2 clear goals on Thursday. Based on the performance yesterday and the season to date as a whole, I say there is no chance of that happening. Now, the biggest caveat, the biggest you never know, is that Gio will be with the boys for the whole week leading up. Well, I guess from Tuesday to Thursday is when he's going to start taking the training. And that might see some obvious tweaks that are needing to be made and make them for the benefit of the team and our performances overall. Now, we all have our favourite players, and we all have players that we just like to criticise. I'm not going to get involved in any of that, because honestly mine's changes depending on essentially their last performance or maybe their run of games. But we're in need of some major back to basics coaching that'll help us get back to getting clean sheets, back to winning games. And I know it's not going to happen quickly, but hopefully we do maintain our lead in the championship as Gio and his backroom staff gets embedded in to their new roles. And one thing I do know, is that yesterday was most certainly not a team playing for their futures with a new manager watching in the stands, which I just think is utterly bizarre. And on that note, I was interested in a journalist's comments today during the official press conference unveiling Gio as the manager, where it was asked, the question was something like, did you get a chance to go and speak to the players before or during or after the game yesterday, talking about the Hibs game? And that approach or that questioning seems to have taken on a wee bit of steam in the media for some reason. I'm assuming primarily due to the fact that we're all hurting big time from the game and trying to find some semblance of what could have been done differently. Quite simply, it would have been against the rules and spirit of the work permit application process to have Gio anywhere near the team yesterday in a formal capacity prior to everything being rubber stamped. Now, as you'll probably know if you've seen the press conference from today, Ross Wilson had confirmed that the rubber stamping of the work permit was just today. So, and I'm fairly sure that the work permit process is all the more complicated these days as a result of the Brexit implications and any restrictions that come from that. So for the club to even entertain him starting his formal duties before being given international clearance just is not in our MO or our DNA any longer. We stick by the rules because the potential implications of not sticking by the rules could be an even lengthier delay for us in getting him formally permitted to be our manager. And to be quite honest, with the way the team played yesterday, I don't know if him being there would have made any material difference. But as I say, usually when a new manager comes in, it doesn't really matter about the circumstances. The team, you find that there's a shift or a for the better of performance and attitude and application and desire. And yesterday was the absolute opposite. So I think in a warped way, we might end up having done Gio a favour by showing him, the real thorny side of us as a team and as a collective group, because there's lots and lots and lots to fix there. On to this week, we are indeed back in the Europa League, as I mentioned earlier, this coming Thursday at home to Sparta Prague, with the game being a 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kick-off. That's an 8 p.m. UK kick-off, and you'll remember that we narrowly lost 1-0 to them earlier in the campaign at the Racist Dome. And as I mentioned earlier, if we win by 2 clear goals, we qualify for the last 32 and the knockout stages of the competition. Regardless of what happens in the final game, we're away to Lyon and they will be playing against Brøndby. We win by just the 1 or we draw, or we get beat, and by the way we're playing right now, any of those are possible, then we have to go to Lyon in the last game needing a favourable result to progress. And again, with this current squad, who knows what that looks like. I have no idea what the atmosphere will be like on Thursday. Hopefully we'll be buoyed by having Gio in the dugout and the fans can play their part in getting us the memorable result that we need to allow us to progress. Like everything, I guess we just have to wait and see. Our second game this week comes in what is sure to be a difficult away match at Livingston on Sunday morning, the 28th of November, with a 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff, noon in the UK. Yikes, another early one for us in the league, and not a game that I personally look forward to, as the games against Livingston, especially at Livingston, are so bloody scrappy. You know, the last few times that we've been there anyway. However, it is games like this and crucial victories like we hope to get on Sunday that bring us championships, and hopefully we get some semblance of stability, normalcy and performance out of the team to navigate both games this week and get us the results that we need. The last time we played Livingston was back in late September, not too long ago. Actually, probably maybe just over 2 months as when we played them on Sunday, and we did run out 2-0 winners at Ibrox thanks to goals from Kemar Roof and Alfredo Morelos. I would absolutely love a similar result this Sunday to keep our quest for 56 firmly on track, and of course the same result on Thursday night will be perfect as well. And then that concludes our games for November and sets us up for a very, very busy December, where we have no fewer than 8 games, and thankfully, due to yesterday's performance, no stupid cup final to look forward to, and an opportunity to pick up 24 points in the process. That would be 21 points, 7 in the league and 1 in the Europa League, so 21 points, and it's not going to be an easy task, but that's always the target. So December is going to be very, very busy and very, very crucial and critical. The guys absolutely have to hit the ground running here, or we're going to have a very stressful time of it. On to RTV, we have all but finalised our RTV survey analysis, and this week we will be in a position to email all the clubs on what their game fees will be for the season, and we'll also include an overview of the expected overall fees for the season. So there'll be the individual game fees, and then there will be what that manifests itself to in terms of your specific club and what that looks like as an overall cost. As you know, we enjoy the flexibility of opt-in, opt-out games for certain tournaments this season, and the Europa League and the League Cup are the two. So we've asked RTV for a breakdown of club logins used for the Europa qualifiers and also for logins for the League Cup matches. Then we can let everyone know what their individual payment landscape looks like, as I say. And I tell you what, this is a hell of a lot of admin work in the background for your NARSA executive here, and I will be working with Alan McWatt and then the whole team during the season to try and figure out a better way to do this going forward, because being RTV's administration and Tier 1 support desk is very, very time consuming, and I can't help but feel our time could and should be used and spent on other things for the betterment of our membership. Anyway, all that said, I anticipate, as I say, this week we will have the final numbers wrapped up and passed over to our NARSA treasurer, Alec Grant, who will then be in touch with every club that takes the games to let them know what the script is. And at the same time, if your club has not yet paid your annual membership fees, expect Alec to also be chasing you for that too. Those fees are supposed to be paid by the 1st of August every year as per our constitution, but I do know that we've been a wee bit more relaxed about that in recent years as we've adjusted our payment schedule and structure. However, we are nearing the end of December now, so let's get those monies in as quickly as we can, folks. For shoutouts, we have 2 this week, and firstly, I would like to extend hearty congratulations to Rangers Football Club's partner in the United States, Orange County Soccer Club, on winning the USL Championship Western Conference Final this past Saturday with a penalty shootout win against San Antonio after a 1-1 draw in the main game. They also won the the semi-final on a penalty shootout as well, so the fans are certainly getting value for money. And as I say, this confirms the club as the Western champions, and interestingly is their first ever trophy in their history that they've won, which is amazing. They now move on to the overall USL Championship game against the Tampa Bay Rowdies this coming Sunday, and that game is going to be played in Tampa Bay in a game that is going to be broadcast across the United States on ESPN, so tremendous coverage for the club as well. And after an incredible season and an incredible feat for them, I just want to say that all the very best to them and everyone down there for the game this coming Sunday. I do know that Rangers, Gary Gibson, Ian Greer and Robin Gibson from the Soccer Academy were also in attendance for the game, the final, the Western final on the weekend, and obviously didn't overdo it too much with the celebrations as they made it along to the Orange County Rangers Supporters Club in the morning, albeit a wee bit late, to jinx our team into that performance. So we're always looking for jinxes. I had my new anniversary shirt on, the white shirt, yesterday. Leo and I had that on, and I'm starting to think that maybe that was a bit of a jinx as well. I hope not, because I really love it. But the reason that the Soccer Academy lads are in town is that the Academy are hosting the second joint soccer camp with the Orange County Soccer Club, with over 120 kids in attendance for this one, which is an amazing amount. You know, back in July when they held their first one, it was around about 70 odd kids or thereabouts. So as we move beyond COVID, I'm going to be really interested to see how things progress with the partnership now, and it's always great, of course, for the Orange County Rangers supporters, guys, to have Rangers team members in town and make an effort to visit the club when they're in the area and when they can. And it's just really too bad that the game didn't go anywhere near what we wanted. But the somewhat shining light in terms of Rangers connections, you'll know that we have been doing some loans either way, between Rangers and Orange County, and they haven't really quite worked out just yet. But the one big Rangers connection, Rob Kiernan, remember that name? Yes, you remember he was with us for a couple of promotions during our journey back to the top, was their star man in defence and has been for the entire season. He was sent off just towards the end of the regular season and missed the semi-final game, but was back for the Western final on the weekend, and I'm told made a massive difference for the team in defence. So congratulations to Rob and to Orange County, and all the very best of luck in the final, as I say. And we will be looking to have Orange County Soccer Club have presence at the convention in 2022. I know for a fact they are very keen on that, so stay tuned for that as we move forward, and we'll be able to determine what that looks like. And the second shout out for this week is my now regular one for all Calgary and area bears to come and join us at our British New Year party on Friday, December the 31st at the Palomino Smokehouse in downtown Calgary. It's going to be a great time, and my sister and her new boyfriend are visiting from Scotland as well, so you get a chance to come along and see Caroline and Craig as well, if that floats your boat. For our convention update this week, we did indeed manage to make some progress on the items that we have kind of stalled or paused over the last few weeks with Walter's passing, and then Gerard's Houdini trick, and then the arrival of Gio. I am very happy to tell you that we now have confirmation of the following events on the NARSA 2022 convention page. Firstly, the Las Vegas Loyal Rangers Supporters Club has organised 2 excursions for your entertainment and enjoyment, one being on the Thursday of the event and the other being on the Friday. Thursday's event is the VIP party boat, and there are only 45 spots available for that. And the last I heard from the guys there was something like 25% sold in the first 24 hours of that. So doing a wee bit of rough mathematics, that's about 14 or 15 spots or something like that have been taken on that, and that's sure to be a good one. It looks actually like a great itinerary that they have set up there. And the second one they have is on Friday, June the 3rd, and they're calling that the Best Day Ever Tour, and there are 200 spots of that one available. It's a bit of a bus tour and going to take you some places, get you some nice lunch, get you some beers and some prizes and things like that as well, and a bit of a Hoover Dam tour too. So As you can see, the spots are limited, as I mentioned, for both events. So if you are interested, please visit the 2022 convention page and you can book directly from there just by clicking on the link. And I will put the link in the blurb for tonight's pod as well. And that's not all. I'm also very happy to let you know that we finalised our arrangement with our new official travel partner, the Holiday and Flight Centre, based in Hamilton, Scotland, and we have launched a dedicated site for convention inquiries and bookings. So more details will be on a link also that I will put into the blurb for tonight. But if you go to narsa.ca/narsa-official-travel-partner, then you will get to see everything that you need there as well. So thanks to Rosie and her team for getting all that organised. And in speaking with Rosie a little bit earlier today, I know that there have been some inquiries already, so hopefully those turn into bookings. And I know that the folks over there will do everything they can to service the Rangers supporters and the NARSA guests as well. So please take that and run with that if you are looking for your travel, and go and see what they can offer you. Shortly you will receive details about booking and logistics for the Davy Cooper the Davy Cooper Memorial Golf Tournament, which is also on Friday, June the 3rd, and the Absent Friends Football Tournament, which is going to be hosted on the Saturday morning of June the 4th, prior to the AGM a little bit later. And then also you'll get some information shortly about the Leaving Do on Sunday, June the 5th as well. So lots of things going on, lots of things to choose from as we get closer to getting those things launched and getting them hopefully sold out. So I am really, honestly delighted to have the excursions out there for everyone at the Las Vegas Loyal Rangers Supporters Club to start to really get themselves embedded into the things that they're responsible for organising. And as I say, you know, we will be turning our attention shortly to getting the other stuff out there, and then all the events and excursions are out there. We do have the Rangers Charity Foundation one to still work out with Karen and figure that part out. And then after that, we will truly turn our attentions to our VIP guest list and get moving on some of the confirmations on that front. Overall, it's just great to see progress, isn't it? I was getting a wee bit of stick for having the same update week after week after week, so now those are out there. We'll continue supporting the work for the Golf, Football and Leaving Do and the Charity Foundation event and get those to you as quickly as we can. And I'm sure I'm not the only one thinking at this particular point, on the 22nd of November, the convention is just over 6 months away here. So information is going to be coming at you thick and fast over the next wee while, and I have a sneaky suspicion that the months are going to fly by, and I'm going to be recording the pod immediately after the convention with a bit of a hangover from Las Vegas or the airport or wherever, saying that we had a very fun, enjoyable and successful event. Just another regular plug for our convention frequently asked questions document. It's on the main webpage, and if you have any questions about the convention, I'm sure they will be answered there. On the communication front, this past week, notwithstanding all the sensation around our new manager coming in, there again isn't too much by way of communication coming out of the club this past week. I did want to mention, to me, the most important piece of news from last week, where we did indeed have Walter's memorial service conducted in Glasgow Cathedral this past Friday, and we all got to enjoy it on either RTV or YouTube or wherever it was you managed to access it. If you didn't get a chance to see it yet, I will pop the link into the YouTube to get, and actually I guess to the article on the website, which will take you to YouTube, our YouTube channel, to get to see what that looks like, and you can take a peek at your leisure. It's around 90 minutes long, and I honestly thought it was fantastically well done. It all started with the minister announcing at the beginning, in his beginning passage, that we are the people, and he said it in such a righteous way. It was brilliant, and it just got better from there. We had Walter's son Neil Smith kicked things off with a very touching, and I must warn you, moving tribute to his dad. We had Walter's brother Ian doing a part of them growing up and their adult life as well, and our captain James Tavernier said a piece. Our managing director Stuart Robertson did a really poignant piece as well. Sir Alex Ferguson who managed to blaspheme not only once but twice in a place of worship. That was brilliant. Andy Cameron and a wonderful, very touching speech by Ali McCoist. And that's not all. There was way more than that for you to enjoy. So, and if you saw any photos of the event, it really was an amazing who's who of the footballing world, and then some real legendary figures there, all in honour of the great man himself. And now with that behind them, the family has to get on with their grief process and slowly but surely figure out what their future looks like without Walter in it, which I'm sure is very daunting. And just know that anyone from NARSA is always there for you if you need us, folks. Secondly, on the communication front, I did have Greg from NordVPN get in touch to let us know about a promotional video that they've created that again details the benefits of securing your online presence with a virtual private network, a VPN. And it's actually quite a quirky, funny wee video as the voiceover for it. Just I don't know, it just made me kind of smile. It's a kind of like almost a caricature of a Scottish person. And another wee funny part is that when Greg initially got in touch, the video had Stephen Gerrard in it, but fortunately they edited him out, and we now have this entertaining, almost 90 seconds, very short video of viewing with this wee Scottish guy doing his piece. At the end of the video, there is a code that you can enter if you are interested in getting a VPN and get a special Rangers deal, and anyone signing up via that code will do so in the knowledge that not only will you be more secure online, but that our beloved club will get a sizable commission from this. It's a partnership in every sense of the word, so if you haven't gotten around to securing yourself yet, you can do so, get a discount, and know that you're helping the club. I wonder if we'd be able to put a VPN on Tav, Goldson, Balogun, Barisic and the rest of the team to make them a wee bit more secure than they have been this season. I'll look into that this week and let you know how that goes. Finally, I wanted to provide an update on our Heart and Hand, the Rangers podcast annual subscription winner, very kindly donated by David and the team at Heart and Hand. And I know we took our time with this one and we asked a question that wasn't the easiest, and we have a new process of entering our competition which wasn't quite as simple as replying to a tweet or messaging us on Facebook or Instagram or wherever. And we introduced it in what proved to be a very erratic and volatile time for our club and our fan base. However, we did manage to get it out there, and we did manage to get a few responses, and a bunch of those were correct. And I'm very happy to tell you that the winner of the Heart and Hand annual subscription is someone who identified themselves only as Rangers Goals. Yep, no name given, just Rangers Goals. It's Rangers Goals in the name field, it's Rangers Goals in the email. So I'm not sure who the person is, but we will get in touch to congratulate them and get them in touch with David at Heart and Hand to get them set up. And I did want to spend a wee bit of time on the question answer. The answer to the question was 10. And we had a few that got it wrong, and we did cross-reference that the answers between Wikipedia and Transfer Markets, both fairly reliable sites. And I just wanted to run through the 10 players that were capped at senior level for both Canada and for the USA, which was obviously what the question was. The 3 players capped at senior level for Canada was Colin Miller, Fraser Aird and Scott Arfield. The 7 players capped at senior level for the USA, Maurice Edu, Claudio Reyna, Carlos Bocanegra, Emerson Hindman, DeMarcus Beasley, Matt Polster and Alejandro Bedoya. Now, Matt Polster might be a wee bit of an argue point, but he did get 1 cap in a 2018 friendly, so that still counts because it was at senior level. And possible arguments to this was, I'm probably going to butcher his last name, but Rob Giacomi, who was a Canadian goalkeeper with 2 caps, but he never actually played a game for Rangers, and the question asked, have played for Rangers. And besides being technically a Rangers player, he didn't play. He played 2 games for a club called KSK Beveren and let in 12 goals and played 4 games in his entire career. And the other one was Gideon Zalalem. and he was never capped at senior level thus far for the USA. So the 10 you have are 3 for Canada, 7 for the USA. Hopefully I've explained a couple of the wee bits and bobs there to make sure that there's nobody out there extremely upset with us for duping you in some way. So congratulations to Rangers Goals. We'll be in touch very, very soon. And one last wee thing before I let you go. I know this has been a wee bit of a longer one this week. You can blame the team yesterday for that. But next week is our 50th NARSA Weekly Update. Yes, for 50 solid weeks I've been making stuff up, ranting and raving, laughing, coughing, joking and crying in your ears every Monday night. And I will try to think of something next week to mark our 50th anniversary episode. And you know, the best bet for that would be 2 solid performances and the victories that we need from our team. That would certainly set the stage and set the scene for us to move into that 50th episode. So that'll do it for this week, my friends. As always, thank you very, very much for taking the time to listen. Please do share it with your pals or anyone else that you think might enjoy it. And until next week, please take care. All the very best. And here's to Gio getting a grip of this mob in preparation for the games that we have coming this week. All the best. Cheerio.